Yeah, exactly. A bit of that going on. So hello, welcome into well, it's a sort of a surprise Chi time here. I did always want to share this with you, but we were going to go live to the OneQi channel on YouTube, but there's been some technical hitches in the back room, but we're here now, and it's so great that we can welcome you into this special edition. We've got 8 top Qigong teachers in the UK. We're in collaboration here under the Wanshi heading, and we really want to unite as a team to show you the variety and wealth of healing energy that you can gain from being in your Qi, finding your Qigong. Now, what does Qigong mean? It means energy cultivation, the management, the awareness of your personal energy. It's being aware of where you hello Ben, that's one of my team, they're lurking in the back room here. It's where you can gain energy from naturally and how you can resource yourself. And Qigong really is coming into its own in this day and age. I mean, I don't know about you, but this morning I woke up in a little bit of a funk, and then all the tech went funky as well, and here we are. So we're just going to say a quick hello. They're going to be back in a minute, but hello to Alessandro and John and Ben. Go on, unmute yourself. Just say a quick hello.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
So good to be here, isn't it? So what the plan is that each of us is going to present about 30 minutes of something that we'd like to share with you around the theme of the new year, of being in the space that we're all in right now and what we're dealing with. And I have no idea what these guys are going to share with you, but I got a sneaking suspicion that I know what I'm going to do, which is good because yeah, it's being in touch with that the Qi that wants to flow through me for you. So there's a real synergy going on here, and from having been very used to teaching people in usual, one-to-ones or group settings, all of us have had to take our trainings online this year. So that is something that is that we've talked about collectively behind the scenes as well. So the plan is for us to each share about 30 minutes and then have a Q&A afterwards. So if you're watching the live stream on YouTube, hello, you're so welcome. You can dip in and out if you want, drop us some comments. We can pull them into the session, see how you go. But really, this is here for you to experience, enjoy, and explore your Qi. So without further ado, it's back to me. And then introduce you to the other guys. So at 4 o'clock, we've got another set of 4 people coming in. So we are trying to be sensible with our energy here. And yeah, so I am obviously moderating this as well. So bear with me while I just check that I can see any of your comments coming through. Yes, brilliant. Do say hello. And then we know you're there. Fabulous. So with what's going on in the world at the moment, it's not easy to stay calm and resourced and present. But I tell you what, my Qigong practice has helped me for the last 25 years to recognize that place in me that is always still, always calm, and always present. It waits for me to return back to it. It's a central part of my energy makeup that I had no idea about. And as a moment-to-moment, day-to-day exploration, I come and go in relationship to it. I can get very pulled into the external, or I can get into dramas and stuff. But when left to my own devices, I come into my breath. I come into being quiet, being drawn back into that sweet spot. And that is a place that I would love to share with you and access to today. But just a brief overview of how I got to where I am today, yes, is that my original training was as a nurse. I then was a costume designer. And then from having repetitive strain injury, punishing repetitive strain injury, I gave up being a costume designer and looked into alternative healthcare and found Qigong through my cranial sacral therapist, Jed Sumner. Him and his colleague, Thalbert Allen, set up the College of Elemental Qigong in London in the early 2000s. And I did my 4-year training there. And John, who's coming on a bit later, he did his training there too. So that's how he and I know each other. And it was through a mutual conversation that we were having about how wouldn't it be lovely for Qigong teachers to have a place to support one another, but also to for students to know where to go to see the range and variety of Qigong that is there. So I developed, well, the Qigong developed through me. It is such a response to the energy that's already here, that it's something that was a very private resource for me. It's not been easy to go live with this because it's such a personal exercise for me. Exercise, I don't know if that's quite the right word. It's such a personal exploration for me. But I do run online classes now through the Cheeky Temple on Facebook, CHIQITEMPLE. I also have a website, clarapollo.com, that looks like consciouslivingevents.co.uk. Everything is in flux and flow. I also set up a teacher training program in 2012 and have successfully drawn Qigong teachers out of Qigong players, and would love to look at how we can do this online. So I'm learning from those that are already doing this, but I'm also very much an in-person person. I do love to be in the room with people, but also I value what it is we are doing here via these marvelous machines. I am the co-founder of the Alliance of Tai Chi and Qigong UK, very interested in how we can get Qigong into mainstream, how it can synergize with other energy-based modalities as well as very standard ones. We can go from just looking at how the body sits, how the body moves, to how we feel with our breath, how we feel when we're standing, what we notice, go into full body listening. We can get into the spiritual aspects of it, the energetic aspects of it. This is multi-layered, and for me, I'm still finding it utterly fascinating, and I cannot wait to experience what my colleagues here are going to be sharing too, because I don't know what they're going to be doing, but I learn from each and every one of them. Every time we hang out with one another, we have really very interesting conversations. There's quite a lot of laughter as well as sort of depth and connection, and we just so want to share this with you. So Wanshi came about well, first conversation was about a year ago, but in the summer it became something more than just a conversation. And really Wanshi is here to help to increase the awareness of the healing power of Qigong and how you can do this for yourself. So this is the reason I got into Qigong, was to find a way to take care of myself that was more than Reiki. Don't get me started. It is also, Wanshi is also a gateway for students to find teachers. How often have you thought, I'd love to start this practice, but I don't know where to begin? And you'll see a list of names and websites. Well, here at Wanshi, on the Wanshi, Wanshi.org website, and also Wanshi on YouTube, you will find everybody's been interviewed, which is brilliant because it means you get to see and feel the energy of this practitioner. So excited about this. I can feel my chi rising just even talking and sharing with you about it. We're also within the Wanshi hub, which is what it's becoming, is we're going to be offering you top quality resources so that all the research that's going on to show us just how effective this is. I mean, we know we do the practice, but we're now needing to talk with more mainstream people to explain to them what is going on. And also it's just interesting, isn't it, to find out what is happening. Well, interesting for me. So this is our pilot session. This is the first time that we're doing this. So bear with us. There might be a few glitches and things, but we are hoping to bring you regular Wanshi sessions. So without further ado, let's have a little look. See who's messaging me up on the live stream, and it's Ben and Jeremy, two of my colleagues. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for being part of this. Absolutely. So can't wait to hear your story. So I thought I would start at the very beginning because I've been told it's a very good place to start, and I know that is too. So whenever I come into my practice, I stand. So I invite you to stand also. I'm going to signify the beginning of the session. standing, settling. So standing in your WuQi structure, this is an A-frame. Could go back all the way and you can see that, and then I'll come forward so that you have a broad base. Your toes are facing forwards. You've got a bit of ease in your ankles and your knees, and your weight is equal distance between the balls of your feet and your heels. Softening your belly as you take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel yourself surrendering to gravity and trusting the ground beneath you to hold you. And watch what happens. Feel what that is like when you surrender into that fundamental truth that Mother Earth is holding you. Now, back in the day when I took 7 weeks off in Austria to regroup and regain my practice, all I did every day was stand by the river. That's all I did. And it brought me back in to realizing, to opening my awareness to what is already here that's supporting me. And I think at this time of the year, particularly in this year, recognizing what true support feels like and acknowledging that which is already here is such a fundamental. So as we give thanks to Mother Earth for always supporting us, I ask you just to breathe into your belly again. And as you breathe out, feeling the weight in your legs and your feet spreading out onto the earth, maybe sense yourself rooting down into the earth with that exhalation in deep gratitude. The in-breath comes when it does, and letting your breathing just be easy, flowing. Just keep your belly relaxed. That's all I request of you at the moment. We don't try and change the breath. We just notice. And I know observing can change, but if you can just notice and ease. To me, this miracle of our physical bodies, you know, the breathing happens. We receive the breath. We exhale the gratitude for the breath. It's like, it's a miracle that we have these remarkable physical bodies that have energetic mapping within them and this deep internal alchemy potential within. But first and foremost, this rooting down to the earth with deep appreciation and gratitude, allowing your roots to travel down through all the different qualities, all the different layers, all this, the water in the earth, that moisture, maybe coming across little pools of water in the earth and bits of clay even, but your roots glide and slide down with such exquisite ease, going down towards the center of the earth, to dock in with the power of the planet that is always there for you. One of the things that I do employ in my sessions is the use of sound. And the sound for the earth element is ooh. It's a spleen sound. So let's do 3 oohs. Ooh. I can sense the men with the deep voices doing this now. One more time all together. settling. When you settle in and connect down, the channels that encourage discharge, that which is ready to leave your system, can open and flow down deep into the earth for transformation. The earth composts all our old energetic debris, creates space for us to receive new, fresh vitality. And that clearing tends to happen down the back of you, and you tend to receive up the inside of your legs to your dantian. So this is this special area in your belly. You might like to give it a little rub. It's quite nice rubbing your belly. Warming it up. Being intrigued by this area. So traditionally, the dantian elixir field is situated 2 fingers width down from the navel and 2 fingers width in. That is the 1 point. But letting your mind float down there as you warm the area up and feel your deep connection in with Mother Gaia. For as you let go, you become a receptacle to receive fresh vitality. So you may get a sense that from your sinking, there is a gentle receiving up into your legs, into your feet, into your legs, into all the structures of your legs, your bones, your nerves, your lymph, your blood vessels, everything receiving little tingles of chi. And every time you exhale, you sink down a little bit more into the ground, into the floor, and you feel that there's the sense of the basin of your pelvis holding the upper body. Now, this is a huge relief. Letting the upper body feel held. That is how that feels. And so from that deep sense of the power of the planet coming up into being received by you, you can more easily sink in and let the rising energy travel up your spine, up through the natural curves of your spine. You've got a bit of ease in the lower back, but you're up. So I'm kind of sitting here. It feels like I'm sitting here, but the energy will travel up the spine, up to the back of the neck, to the crown, and feel that silver filament drawing you up to the ceiling and into the sky and up and up and up to the source of all there is, the great Tao. I like to imagine that I have a guiding star right above me, that my energy system connects in with my starry nature, the cosmos, the multiverse, and that my sense is as that energy, when you connect with it, dapples it, like it rains down in soft, powerful light codes, and it's received into the system. It's something we recognize, and then merges with the earth element. But I'm getting into the internal alchemy, which is one of my fascinating topics. So just knowing that you receive energy from the earth and from the cosmos, and you dance between, it's like a miracle. But it's such another fundamental truth, right? It's what is going on all the time that you can plug into whenever you want and wherever you want. It's a free resource of unlimited natural energy. Boom. Yes. So let's get back to the structure. So this sense of being drawn up from the crown opens the back of your neck. So usually you tend to look up. That will squash the back of your neck. We have important energy gates at the top of the spine, so we want to keep them open so the brain can then be revitalized. Always good. And it also anatomically is better positioned for your head. You get this lengthening out of your neck and out of your shoulders. And your eyes sort of gaze down at about a 45-degree angle. So I'm hoping that's where the screen is for you right now. But if not, do your best. So when you set up your center line from this deep support of the earth, the shoulders, the dear shoulders that like to get involved with everything that we do, the shoulders are so close to the brain. Whenever the brain has an idea, the shoulders think, oh, I'll have a go at that. And it might not always be appropriate for the shoulders to have a go at that. So we're giving some space to the shoulders here. So as you breathe in next, draw the shoulders up, just gently, not too forced. And as you breathe out, let them go. Let the arms hang. This is not specifically Qigong, but it's one that you may well recognize. Drawing up on the in-breath. And out. Always do things at least 3 times, if not 9. And see that, just feel that the shoulders land where they do in right relation to your spine, because of course the anatomy, the internal architecture of the shoulders, the shoulder girdle is inextricably linked with your spine, and the arms can hang. Now just think how heavy your arms are, right? So letting the fingers twinkle and the wrist release and the elbows soften, but the weight of your arms and breathing into the shoulders, breathing out down the arms, letting the weight of the arms open the shoulder joints. Also open the energy channels of the arms. And if anything at all, just to add to this, letting your shoulder blades slide down almost imperceptibly towards one another in the back. Just have a very gentle presencing of your heart. But also there's a dive that's there too. But I won't go into too much detail, but that idea of being present with your heart energy as well as your belly, and standing in your WuQi. So this is the classic stance that you will find in all Qigong, wherever you go, and in Tai Chi as well. It's the presencing of yourself on the planet in correct alignment with the cosmic forces of gravity, as well as your internal architecture. So we're going to play with this a bit. We're going to play with our balance. But just before we do that, just letting yourself listen. And you might need to do little movements. There might be little flurries or like, oh, let yourself do that. You're not stuck here. This is a place that you can land back into. It's like home. It is your home. Dantian is your home. And it's a place where you move from, express from, and then return back to. And every time you come back in, something will have shifted. Something will have changed. Just noticing how your feet feel. Can you wiggle your toes? How are your ankles and knees? Just making sure the knees haven't gone into lock. You don't have to overly bend unless that's comfortable for you. You certainly want to be sitting to open the lower back. We've got an important energy gate at the base of the spine, pretty much the base of the spine, called the Ming Men, you might have heard of. When we sit and open, that increases the energy into this place, or opens that energy gate that then supports your kidneys. Now, the water element is where we're really at in Chinese medicine at the moment, and it's what I'm right in myself. In fact, this morning I was feeling so cave-like. It was like, what am I going to share with you today? I just feel like standing in my cave and maybe lying down a bit. And then as we got talking, the energy started to move, and it was like, yeah, that is how I'm going to start, because you know what? No matter what time of year it is, I always begin with the earth supporting me, and the water within the earth and the water within me resonating with the rhythm of my breath and the wave of my breath, my connection to the cosmos. And then I wait. Creating space for yourself to be is so deeply healing. You're giving your attention to yourself. And come out of busy beta brainwave and sympathetic nervous system overdrive and into a more chilled out alpha rhythm. Your brain and the parasympathetic nervous system can come on board. You're using your energy to heal and be, not do an action. You are superpowered. Just letting yourself land in the now moment to experience that potential. So whichever part of your body is speaking to you now, might be a shoulder or a lower back or a belly ache or whatever, just send it love. Just say, I've noticed you. Thank you for opening the conversation with me. Appreciate that. We're going to unwind some stagnation now. So what we do with Qigong is clear the joints and around the body organs so that the Qi can flow more naturally. Because once that happens, you are a self-healing unit. Duh. I mean, exactly. Who tells you this? The body self-heal. Yes. Yes, I know. It always excites me that that's such a fundamental truth that is overlooked by, yes, mainstream media. Anyway, let's get back into how this feels for you here, listening to the odd ache, pain, grind. If your legs aren't enjoying standing, you can do a little bit of shaking or turning. I mean, this is what we explore in all of us here with my colleagues in Wanshi. I think we're all doing online sessions now, so we'd go more deeper into areas like this, and in one-to-one as well, you would get to unravel, unwind specifically what is right for you. But here we're giving you a taster of what it's like over in the Qi camp, in the OneQi camp. Wouldn't that be great if we did a OneQi camp in the summer? Oh, yes, yurts all around. Love it. You see, when you come into spaciousness, that which wants to be can breathe through you into the world. So those streams of thought that I just shared with you then just came through. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to tell you about that. It was just a natural response to the energy here. And I can feel you all watching and on the replay. And I can feel my colleagues here waiting, going, what's she going to do next? Or we're trusting that what I'm doing is in alignment with what you're doing. We all recognize these elemental truths within us. And we steady back into Qi. We empty out of the old, we create space to receive the new. It really is as simple as that. But in order to assist stagnation flow, we're going to do a movement, and we'll come back to stillness. So let's just do a very simple gesture. Turn the length of the arms so the palms face forwards, and feel that opening connection of the center of your palms as we say hello to one another energetically here in the Qi field. Imagining us all standing around in a circle, acknowledging each other, smiling on the inside. And then let the center of your palms, this magical place called the Lao Gong or pericardium 8, it's the healing chakra on your palms. Let it feel attracted into the dantian, that one point that we were talking about. And for women, it's our right hand that comes on first. For you chaps, it's the left. That's going to be a discussion point in one of our topics, I know. But let's just go with the tradition here. So letting the first hand come in and let the center of the palm dock in with your belly into that dantian place. So you have an energetic line up there. And then the second hand comes over and forms that three-way. Connect in now, my friends. How is that feeling? Deeply connected to the earth, releasing that which is ready to go, receiving new refreshment, gathering it in the dantian, your reservoir of unstoppable energy, the place that we go to and resource first and foremost, for it is a lake of Qi that will then serve the extraordinary meridian lines and support the other dantians. This is always a place to go to resource, but feeling this energy here, this is you standing in your power. So the sacral chakra and the dantian, very, very linked. Again, another topic for a Wanshi conversation, I'm sure. This is your center of creativity. Hence why when we relax into it, we acknowledge that we are essentially creative beings. Yes, all of us are. So let us just begin to notice on the inside there, that one point, that center of your dantian. I'd like you to imagine it as a bead of light that is balanced and calm, but also energized with potential. The yin-yang effect, both and, total Taoist stuff. If the mind doesn't understand, you know you're onto something. So you come into experience and you begin to let that little bead of light circle in an anti-clockwise direction, a very small way on a horizontal plane, deep within you, at a gentle pace, spiraling out, clearing, resourcing, kinding you from the inside, until the physical body cannot resist a gentle movement of turning around your hips, letting your center lead the way to find the level and pace that suits you right now. It's so beautiful, this practice, because it encourages you to work with what feels good and then gets you to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And this is a movement that I do daily. I used to have a real bad lower back problem and a knee problem and an ankle problem. And this gentle unwinding from that internal perspective, it joins the inside with the outside and gives you I think a deeper way of releasing and then receiving. So as you're turning around the hips, you're moving on the water at the end, the synovial fluid, which is clearing any detritus down the legs, deep into the earth, down, down, down. You may notice your knees also playing here and your ankles and the weight rolling around your feet. I'd usually do this about 50 times, but on replay, you could stop and do this 50 times, but I've got some wonderful colleagues waiting to share with you what they've got going on, and we are on a little bit of a time zone here, so I'm trying not to go too timeless on you. Qigong does that. You go into Kairos time with Qigong. It's so brilliant. So we do need to go the opposite direction. So rather than changing direction really quickly, because you've got a nice flow going here, haven't you? I want you to imagine the yin-yang symbol, which is handily just behind me here. See that center line, that squiggle, that S shape? If you can move through that to change direction, then you keep the flow and the swirl as you introduce the clockwise direction of unwind. And you may well need to take that back to a smaller exploration to see how that feels in this direction. Again, the center is leading, so when in doubt, go back to your little light beam bubble that's rolling around anti-clockwise, clearing, easing, soothing, gently energizing, freeing up, finding your flow. Now, this is the preparation for Qigong, really. It's the warm-up movements from a Qigong perspective. And I know that who's on, Alessandro is coming up, and Ben and John, they're going to be building on this and sharing with you some of their Qi key moves. So just to complete this one, we're going to go back to a bit of internal alchemy and gathering. So from this physical movement of unwinding, we're going to take our minds back into that circling light bubble and begin to draw that in, spiral that in, spiral it in. And as it spirals in, the light gets stronger and deeper and easier until it finds a centered space to stop in. Now this is your sweet spot. You need to breathe into here. Own it. Own this feeling of perfect balance and calm and resource for this moment. Let this feeling spread up into your kidneys, into your lungs, to your heart, to your spleen, to all your body organs. Receive calm, balanced energy from the belly into all your bones, up the length of your spine, into your brain. Down your arms and down your legs. And here in this sweet spot of magic, I'd like to invite you to place a wish that is very dear to your heart. And breathe that wish into your heart. As you breathe out, plant it in your belly, plant it in that one spot, that light beam. Feel yourself connected deeply with Mother Gaia. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, letting the hands release. Little shake, bring the feet together, arms up above the head, palms down, little prayer gesture, giving thanks to all of you here on the live and on the replay. This has been me, Clara Chi, sharing some fundamental Qigong with you, building up my Chi flow so that I can offer you extra from the overflow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we're going to open up the mics with my colleagues and come into a little chat before who's coming up next. Hey guys.
Hi, Clara.
Hi, Clara.
Yeah, I could see you all joining in the background. Thank you so much for supporting me doing that. Really appreciate your presence and your engagement.
Brilliant, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. It's going to be really nice as well, just to have you guys as an audience as well. You know, I could feel that interaction with you in there as well. You know, just being able to kind of share that space and connect with you in that. And that is what I love about Qigong. Just even the simplest things, just feet on the earth, just standing. You know, and there's wealth in all of it. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody got anything is that something that you do yourselves? Is that a movement that you do?
Not in that way within Life Force Qigong. It's we work with the movements in the feet and within the standing in similar ways, but just doing that horizontal spiraling as you were doing there, that was beautiful. I've not worked that before, and I love that using the yin yang symbol to move yourself into the opposite direction. You know, very, very potent stuff.
Cool. God, I can't wait to see what you're going to share that's going to inspire me. You know, this is why the Wanshi is so rich. We are having such fun in here, sharing with each other and going, oh yeah, I knew that little bit, but I hadn't thought of it from that angle. Or yeah, it's real magic, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays, there's so much thinking going on and worrying, and even mindfulness, you know, conceptually is great, but often it's up here, and the grounding, you know, the grounding is such a key to starting our health practice, because the mind can always go off anytime, anywhere. And I'm sure we've all met people amazing at meditating, but they can't live in this world, in a grounded, present way. And so that's what I love about Qigong. A lot of people come to it, I think, because they want to feel this connection to the earth. And one of my favorite quotes is Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm sure you know it, most of you. The miracle is not walking on water, it's walking on the earth.
And as you were saying that, I was feeling it's that awareness of letting yourself be present and expand into that. And it's like we are being so called into the now moment with what's going on in the external society, but actually is that us actually calling us into the now moment because of the awareness of what is already here. I mean, we are all standing on a planet with amazing energy in it, I mean, and it's only one of those things, we breathe in the air through our lungs that do it whether we think about it or not. So when we presence this, it expands and becomes a much deeper resourcing experience for us. And I think with the monkey mind, as you were talking about, Alessandro, it's like giving the mind something to consider that is of interest. Your curiosity is piqued, which keeps it going, oh yeah, that is very interesting, okay. Helps it. That's what I find anyway. That's when I first came into my training. The word mindfulness wasn't mainstream by then, but that's what it taught me, was coming out of busy moving forwards or talking about the past. It's like, what is this now moment then? Yeah. What do we do with it? The ground, connection, the stillness, the honoring, and then the healing occurs. So simple, so simple.
Quite interesting for me because obviously we've trained with the same place, and I haven't done this type of stuff I haven't done this style for many years because I've started using a different form, which we'll explore later. So you're talking about the present moment, and it was just right back in where I started, which was sort of in the past, which is not where you should be, but actually it was fascinating because I think it's always good to go back to that beginning place. Because there's such richness in these really simple forms. There's such richness in this simplicity that we have a tendency to go, done that, ticked it off, next. And coming back to the beginning is such a powerful thing to do. And it's amazing. I've got people coming in regularly saying, do you take beginners? And I was like, yes, all the time, because beginners, people who've not done the work before, ask the best questions, have the best insight. So when you get old and jaded like us, when you get jaded like us, I'll drop the old bit. No, it's really easy to get stuck in your ways. And this is one of the joys of Wanshi, is that by interacting, by all coming together as equals, we aren't getting stuck in our ways. We're finding that space. And I think that's really valuable. So thank you. Thank you for dragging me back to the past.
You're so welcome. It's this being in the exploration. We've all come into our Wu Chi time and time again, and it's never boring. It's just never boring to me. It's like, what's it going to have for me today? It might take me a while to get in there to play some music or whatever, but it's always like, and there's that honoring of the self, honoring of the physical vehicle, and then the soulful inhabitant that is there. It's like, it's beautiful. It's great. Anyway, we could chat forever, like we have been known to. But now I'd like to invite one of you to take the Wanshi helm, or Wanshi mic. Oh, Alessandro has got his hand up. So we're going to hand it over to you, mate, and then come back into a chat in about, well, you've got until if we come back into the chat at about 20 past, does that work for you?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Brilliant. All right, we will mute ourselves and I'll put you on to speaker. Okay.
So thank you, Clara. So for those who are joining us for the first time, this is Wanshi. Welcome, an amazing new platform bringing Qigong teachers from all over the country and possibly in the future from all over the world, and connecting them with students, because it's not that easy to find Qigong teachers, but we're beginning to notice that there are quite a few around, and it's a great resource to have on this site. Lots of videos, the websites of the teachers, where they're based. And like Clara said, many of us are online at the moment. And I've been doing Qigong for about 35 years myself with my teacher, Zhineng, here in London. And this year there has been a lot of online teaching. I've been quite surprised at how well it seems to work online. And for the foreseeable future, I think, unfortunately, that's how it's going to have to remain. And it's a skill. And I think Clara did an amazing job to really get the energy going and connected on a screen, you know, and it felt like, you know, I was in her living room or she was in my living room, and it was so powerful. So I think the Qi, one of the beauties is it's transmissible. And, you know, as Clara said, I think sometimes, you know, you can or John said as well, a beginner sometimes, I've had beginners come to a class, they sense the Qi more strongly than somebody who's been there for like 8 years, you know, and the other person can resent it a bit. It's like, no, beginner's mind, just be open. We're all learning from each other. We're all inspiring each other. And I'm really excited to share, you know, some of my own practice with you. And I think I ask people these days, what are their main challenges? And it seems to be a lot of anxiety, fear, emotional stuff, mental health. There's a lot the mind is thinking. So when we connect with this energy, with the earth, with the heaven, allowing the energy to flow, we allow it to work for us, to actually you know, to remind us of what we are. We are energy beings. You know, there's more space in the body than solid matter. And in the universe, I remember going to a Deepak Chopra talk years ago, and he said, if you got all the solid matter in the universe and you put it, squashed it together, you get it in a box this size, you know, everything is space. So in Qigong, we're connecting to this opening that Clara did beautifully, opening up the body, letting go rather than holding on. And I think with the COVID and all these situations, there's been a lot of holding on to tension, holding on to emotions. And so today, hopefully, we'll all help you to release and let go. Nothing to hold on to, no need, you know, trust the energy. We are energy beings. Let's connect with it. So we'll start with, Clara did an amazing standing session. So from my practice also, one of the most important things is this connection down to earth. So if we stand together, feet parallel, width of the shoulders, knees softly bent, this helps to align the body on the one hand and also sink down into the earth. And often the knees tend to be a bit locked. So just check, actually, you can straighten the knees first, then just bend them gently, bend them softly. And often people feel a bit uncomfortable when they stand like this because the normal casual standing position or posture is not really correct. You know, most people, if you go to, you know, when we could go and get a train or a tube, you watch people standing, they're kind of casual, you know, collapsed, leaning. The body actually is an amazing tool that can, you know, guide this energy, connect. So when we stand well, it might feel unusual, but that's the best position. And we get energy from the earth. We drop energy, any stagnant energy down, and this energy can start flowing through the body, a bit like a tree. Standing like a tree, you imagine the feet are like the roots of the tree, searching for water, being nourished by the earth. So just the standing is a very powerful way to start the practice. So we've done quite a lot of that, and we'll do something to strengthen the body, which is just gentle slapping of the head initially, the back of the head, back of the neck. A lot of us working on computers in offices at home, so this area tends to get a bit tense. Shoulders, obviously used a lot these days. Lower back, we tend to sit on this area, one of our main energy centers. Clara mentioned the Ming Men. Just wake it up a bit. Hips, a bit underused these days. I think sofas overused, hips underused. So just strengthening, bringing the attention to the different joints. Knees, bend down as far as we can, feet. And slapping is done a lot in martial arts, and actually strengthening any area of the body that feels a bit weak. Coming up again. Let's do one more. So often 3 times or 9 times, but I think today we'll do 3 and just wake up and include. Sometimes some areas of the body get lazy. They're not included in our practice, whatever we're doing. So with this, you're kind of reminding the body to be fully included. Hands gently push down to the feet, have a pause, and then just notice the kind of, it's like a buzzy feeling, like the cells have woken up a bit. And then you definitely will notice after a while some areas of the body calling your attention. So when you have more time, you just do more slapping in that area. Sometimes if, you know, one of the knees is a bit weaker, just do more on that area, wherever it is. But tends to be these bigger joints like the hips, lower back, shoulders. So you can always do more for these areas. But for today, we just go through the whole body. And then cleansing part is like a purifying practice we always tend to do in the self-healing form. Fingers closed, keep open the thumb, the tiger's mouth we call it, and cleaning from the front to the back of the head. It's like taking the dust off the surface of the body. Back of the neck, front, lower back, outside of the legs, feet, heels, and shake off. It's like collecting the dust off the surface. Coming up again. And this is the back or outside part, connecting more with the earth. If you like, the structural part of the body that contains the energy. So we want the structure always to remain strong, the energy down to the earth and clearing the front part more. So just, again, we'll do 3 times today. Have a pause again. And then just go through a short self-healing form without touching the body, pushing the energy towards the feet. Come up at the front, middle of the chest. Open the middle of the chest. Go through to the horizon as far as you can. Then through into the sky, into the heavens. Re-step a bit, empty the arms into the legs. And this is good for just releasing all the tension through the body. And many people give up quite quickly when they're holding the arms up because a lot of tension in the shoulders. But if you feel a bit tired, just join the hands, open up more each side, extending up as if the body gets twice as tall, up into the heaven, down into the earth, extending up, down. And the fingertips slightly bent as if you can catch something on the fingertips. We talk about the chi, the energy in the heaven. It's like catching it on the fingertips. You bring it down towards the body, back of the head, front, lower back, through the legs, through the hips, through the knees, through the feet, bend down, turn, come up the inside. So we're opening up the inside front part, creating more space at the front, connecting with the heaven, and bringing the heavy element down to earth, the yin, the heavy element, Mother Earth, prepared to take everything from us and supporting us to middle of the chest, open, open. So physically imagine going through the walls of your home, mentally go twice as far. The mind, one of the things in Qigong, we learn to use the mind to project a clear image and become that image through the ceiling, through the roof, twice as far as we can imagine, coming down the back, front. So we always go down the outside part, up the inside. The inside, the more delicate part, clearing, opening, the outside structural part, strengthening, and everything going to its rightful place, reorganizing the energy system. Let's do 3 more times without pausing, just open. Just moving the energy down and floating the hands up, dipping into the sky. Each time you can just pause and then release down to the feet. Let's do 1 more time, going through the whole body. This time, don't have to bend down. Just have a pause, push down to the feet. Sense as if the hands join the feet, shoulders join the hips, like the whole body collapsing down to earth. Becoming more insubstantial. That's a word I love in Qigong. It's like the body insubstantial, empty, then it has more capacity for energy to flow and for the healing to take place. The Qi actually knows where to go. It knows the weaker parts. So when we stay connected, then the Qi does its work, if you like. And then when we bring the arms up, this is a very short exercise to really empty the arms into the legs. Just feel the arms into the sky, then come down again. Just notice arms, shoulders a bit heavy in the beginning. So a different way. Sometimes we find these shortcuts in Qigong. If you think, instead of lifting the arms up, if we drop the elbows, the hands come up more easily, dip into the sky. Feel the arms still a bit heavy, drop them again. But just think, drop the elbows, what happens? Hands come up easily. Rather than lifting from the shoulders, drop the elbows, hands float up, dip into the sky, re-step a bit. And we're going to empty the arms into the legs. Allow the Qi to flow from the heaven to the earth. As humans, that's where we are, between heaven and earth. I love that expression. So into the sky. If we feel tired, some of us maybe not as physically strong, it's okay. Just take it easy, join the hands, but don't give up with the arms yet. Just join them, open them up more. And if we keep the right arm up, slowly drop the left. You can close the fingers on the left arm together with the left leg. Focus on the right into the sky. Index finger can be a bit straighter, almost like an aerial into the sky. Feel the right arm emptying to the right leg. You can re-step a bit, empty, empty. Breathing naturally, generally more breathing out from the mouth and in through the nose in the beginning. It's like all the stuffy air out, fresh air in. Slowly, we're going to drop the right. And as we do, the left floating up. So it's almost like a seesaw. Just gently drop the right, feel the left coming up into the sky, through the ceiling. Close the fingers on the right arm melts together with the right leg. Just check the left, opening, stretching, dipping into the sky. Empty left arm into the left leg. And sometimes left and right can feel a bit different. So this is also good for rebalancing the two sides. Next time, gently we drop the left, feel the right floated up. Almost meet halfway, then one goes beyond the other. Right into the sky, close the fingers on the left. Just check the feet, still strongly rooted, knees softly bent, not holding anywhere in the body, just supported by the earth, dipped into the sky. This time, just close the eyes gently. When we close the eyes, especially for people who haven't done Qigong, you notice a lot more in the body. So with this particular practice, just sense as if the arm emptying into the leg. Energy, light coming through the arm, through the leg into the earth. The other side dissolved away. It's like just projecting this simple idea to the body. We keep the eyes gently closed. You slowly drop the right, feel the left floating up. Feel the left arm much longer, much straighter than it was. Easier to go through the ceiling. Extend further. Left leg long way down into the earth. You might feel a bit taller. Whole body is becoming more spacious. As if you're just aware of the left arm into the left leg. Not sure where the body is, as if the body dissolving away into the chi or air energy around us. Smile on the face, take it easy. Just no straining anywhere. Slowly dropping the left, feel the right floating up. Twice as long. Twice as straight. Through the ceiling, through the roof, into the sky. And mentally just check. Sometimes we give a hint and notice the difference. So in the beginning we were holding the arm up. Imagine you're hanging down from the sky. You're not holding the arm. No need to hold it up. Hanging down from the sky. Foot strongly rooted. Arm emptying into the leg. Slowly dropping the right, the left, twice as long, through the ceiling, through the roof. If you have any reactions like shaking, releasing, just follow. These are just spontaneous reactions. The body will tell us, but not to hold anywhere rigidly. Again, feel like you're hanging down from the sky. No need to hold the arm up. Makes such a difference. When we hold it up, there's effort. There's tension. We're just hanging down. We could stay here for a long time if we chose to. Arm into the leg. Slowly dropping the left. Last time, right. Seems to take ages to go up. So long, straight, empty. Right arm, right leg, like a hollow tube of light from the sky to the earth. No need to hold it. Dropping the right for the last time, left going up. Feel the left into the sky, through the roof, ceiling. No need to hold it anymore. Left side, bright hollow tube of light, arm into the leg. We keep the right arm down, slowly drop the left. Can keep the eyes closed for now. Both arms together with the legs, as if the arms melt into the legs. Close the fingers. Close the fingers, energy is more contained generally. Arms melt together with the legs. Shoulders to the hips. Feet into the earth. Whole body feels unified, like collapsed together into one piece. Nowhere left out. Sometimes energetically, some areas of the body may be slightly disconnected. So with Qigong, we always sense the whole body, this flow through the body, everywhere connected. Feet can feel quite large into the earth. Sometimes can be hot or cold, painful. We don't worry. Energy flowing through the feet into the earth, exchanging with the earth, nourishing the body. So the standing we mentioned before can be strengthening, help to reorganize the energy in the body, drop the heavy element, feel the support of the earth. Sometimes it becomes very comfortable to stand like this, connected to the earth. But at some point we have to finish. So just make a fist with the hands, squeeze the hands together, open the fingers, close, open, helps us become clearer. Move the fingers, become clearer quite quickly. Somebody just moved in next door, so I apologize for the noise. I think they're just drilling and doing things. Normally it's very quiet here. It's been quiet for a year. And especially with a lot of us working on computers and things, I think always quite good to do some exercises for the hands, the fingers. Just clasp the hands, clear the space between the fingers. The fingers relate to all the internal organs, so this is actually helping the whole body as well, help us be more alert and create more space in the body. Do a bit of walking on the feet, center of the feet, dropping any physical holding. And when we finish, we often notice maybe we have been holding the arms from the shoulders. So anywhere that we feel still a bit stiff, because our habit tends to be that we do things in certain ways over the years. I'm talking now more for the newer people who practice. Sometimes they really feel it's a bit of a struggle, but over time, you'll notice becomes effortless. This connection with the chi, the standing, the movements becomes flowing and effortless. But if anywhere still feels a bit stiff, just do extra slapping. Sometimes even standing, we stand maybe not fully towards the center of the feet, then the lower back maybe has a bit of strain. So slapping anywhere that needs it, cleaning off at the end anywhere that needs it, energetically just cleaning off back of the knees, shake off. Just feel quite lively. When we stand well on the earth, the energy is quite lively through the center of the feet. So this idea, sometimes when we stand a bit heavy or walking a bit heavy, so this liveliness of the chi that's always there for us, as Clara mentioned. So just finishing off, pushing down to the center of the feet, the energy, and just come up at the front, slightly differently. Coming up, looking up, back of the head, front, lower back, down to the feet, bend down as far as we can, arms come up in front. So energy a bit more contained in the body, then it's a bit harder for the hands to come too close. So when we do the finishing form, feel as if the hands slightly further off the body. it's like our aura expanded. So with Qigong, sometimes it does feel like we more protected. I often think of the Ready Brek ad, you know, when they have the aura around them. Have a bit of Ready Brek, have a bit of Qigong, feel more protected and energy all around the body. Next time, simplify it, back of the head, push down to the front. 2 more times, back of the head, push down. So when we finish, just settle everything down, and quite good to just pause, notice how we sense the body from the beginning to the end. Generally should be a difference. And with this practice we did today was this simple image of like 2 hollow tubes. If we do both hands like a letter H, simplified. Here, energy flowing around, flowing down, and the body becomes less important as the energy unblocks anything in the way. So it's like the energy allowed to flow through, connecting to this, to heaven, to the earth. And this helps greatly. The shoulders release the tension and also get a sense of the connection to this universal signal, always there, as Clara said, always available to us. So this is just one way, another way to connect to the Qi. So, hope you enjoyed that one. We can have a short chat and anything you would like to say.
Fabulous. That was just so lovely, so lovely. I was yawning so much. It's like, getting to deeper levels that needed to be released. I always feel that when you yawn, you let go, because you can't control yawning. So you know that something is clearing deeper. And yeah, I really love that sequence, actually. I mean, I recognized the clearing form, but I hadn't done the bit about keeping the arms up. So that was really interesting. Really interesting to just sort of be with that. And then, but I loved also how you went, if it's tired, you can release a bit. So you've got potential to tune in with what does my system need right now? Actually, I want to stay hanging from the sky. And that switch to holding the sky to hanging from it was very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. Good.
Desperately trying to be a beginner. Trying to be a beginner, and it's such a blessing to sort of come with a truly empty cup. But yeah, I could feel myself when we were doing this one going, oh, this feels like monkey work, and I could feel the mind going off and doing all kinds of bits and pieces, which is, it's brilliant, because again, we need reminding of, you know, those sort of places that we get caught in, and the narratives that we don't necessarily notice. So thank you for allowing me to fail horribly at being a beginner.
Yeah. I remember my teacher's wife once, she said to us, there were about 40 of us in the class, she said, the problem with most of you with your Qigong practice is you all want to be teachers, you know. And she said, you know, beginners might, you know, just each time it's like something new. And even with me, I think, oh God, this is so boring, I've done this. But every time is different, and every time I learn something. So, you know, and for today, I think it's good to share some basics and simple things, and people can remember them as well.
That was great. Thank you, Alessandro. I really appreciated as well that we had what in Life Force Qigong we describe as the patting and the dredging. So the patting and the wiping. And interesting, because within our practice, we tend to put that in at the end of the session.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah, we use it as a check to make sure that we've not left any stagnant or stuck energy in the body, so that there's no blockages remaining. So we have a good pat through at the end, and then just clear out. And that seems like a really nice way to finish. But I really enjoyed having it right there, you know, as a beginning part of a practice as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's good, but that, you know, you're teaching me. Maybe I do it at the end as well, and at the beginning, and just change it around and see how it works. So that's great. Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, this is actually reminding me around at the end of practice when you have built up your dantian, you've got the flow of qigong, and you want to bring the energy to the surface to create that layer of protective qi that you would. I mean, I don't think I'd slap. I'd tap. I quite like the slapping. It feels different too. But any stimulation to that the outer layer that brings the qi up, that. Is that what you're thinking, Ben? Is that why you do it at the end? You clear and then bring the qi to the surface?
Yeah, sure. So that if there's anything that's kind of become blocked or stagnant somewhere else, by patting it through, we're giving that stimulation right at the level of the jing or the physical tissue to allow it to move and just come up into the subtle energy field.
Yeah, yeah, but by creating this ready breath glow, I mean, it shows our age, Alessandro, actually.
I knew what you meant.
How many of you watching know what the ready breath glow is? So
actually, you're right. I could have had something more modern.
Exactly what you mean. I tend to imagine like a golden one, but of course, color is a therapeutic tool in itself, and your system will know what color your ready breath glow is. So this is just this general first layer of the aura is all full of chi, isn't it?
Great, thanks.
I think it's good for people to know as well about the fact that when we're working, especially as we're building up energy in the lower dantian, this elixir field that we have down here in the lower abdomen, that part of what that's helping to do as well is actually to create and to fortify our wei qi field. So wei is external, so our external qi field. So literally that description of that ready breath glow is exactly what we're doing. And one of the beautiful things about that within Chinese medicine and within Qigong practice, of course, the stronger the wei qi field is, the better we are at keeping away pathogens or pathogenic qi. So this is, both in terms of the types of people we might encounter. It's very difficult to go near people who have got this beautiful glow on if you have nefarious intent, but also from a very practical, physical, immune system point of view, that ready breath glow, that wei qi field is actually helping to fortify our health and protect us as well, so that we stay. I mean, you've only got to look at the four of us here in the screen today, how kind of vibrant and energetic and enthused we all are by what we do. So, it's beautiful to keep on stimulating that.
And timing, it's the perfect timing. With COVID, it's like just a reminder how we can do so much for ourselves. We don't have to wait for the government to roll this thing out. It's like, let's do something now for ourselves, which is what we're doing today. It's great. Yeah.
Why we wanted to really launch OneQi as soon as possible, because we know how empowering this practice is. We know how truly healthful it is. There's lots of papers and research that has been done, which is going to be on our OneQi.org website as that evolves. We are still evolving. It's still a new project, so bear with us. But if you want to hop over to OneQi.org and register as a teacher or a student, you can do that right now, and then we can give you updates as and when they come in, like when the next live stream is going to be. But I'm just going to take us over to the messages here. We have 25 people watching. Thank you so much. Really good to have you here. And we've got our colleague Jeremy, who is saying, Alessandro, what you heard as drilling, I experienced as a low, deep hum. I thought it was a recording you were playing during the practice, because I felt it was very much part of what you were doing.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah.
That's good.
It's go with what's here, isn't it? What's here. And I was thinking, what is that? But any kind of low hum, that reminds me of the sound of the earth, that ooh that we did at the beginning. It's like grounding in. And if you've got a bit of drilling that's helping you remind that, hey, bring that into your practice,
yeah, and also I wasn't sure if you could all hear it, but it sounded, because I could hear it through the walls here, but I know in China, very advanced Qigong masters go to practice in the noisiest place they can find. So this is all part of, it's like, I wasn't disturbed at all, but I did want to mention it in case people are disturbed. It's like, just relax.
Just wondering what it is, because
yeah.
But you are right. Doing this practice anywhere is absolutely key. So we want to actually another couple more comments come in from somebody called Bernadine Ma. First time that I've seen this form of energy. Chiara from Aotearoa. New Zealand. I probably pronounced that wrong, but that's great, from New Zealand. Welcome
Wow.
in, welcome in. We are the OneQi collective here, dropping you some live sessions. So stay tuned. We're going to be going till 7, although we're going to have a short break at 4 for the changeover. And also we've got Pix Rainbow saying that so glad that they caught the live. So brilliant. If you're watching on replay, hashtag replay on the comments. But I think what would be lovely to do now is to just be settled and calm and just let ourselves, you know, because like Ben was saying, it's quite exciting, all of this. But what we're doing is coming into a place of plenty and settling, knowing that we've got some more sharing coming up very, very soon. But let us be in this presence of the now moment, expanding into our support from the earth, letting that the movements we've done so far integrate into our systems. Feeling calm and balanced and energized all at the same time. I'm just really feeling you all in here, and on the replay. The quantum field is an amazing place to hang out. And what's activating now is my heart chakra. I can feel us all being present and real and empowered, knowing that we're activating and actioning the tools within us that can keep us healthy, more than healthy, keep us in wellness, so that the gifts we have can come through our clear channels to be a benefit to the world. So I wonder who's going to go next. Is it going to be John or Ben? Guys, it's between you two. Who wants to take
I'm happy to take this one if John, you're happy with that. So you know, I can see we've got kind of about 90 minutes until our shift as the teachers in for Wanshi is over. So I think no matter what I do, John, you're going to be able to fill the rest of the time, so that's okay. It'll all be good.
We're going with the flow here. That's the thing, when we're in Kairos expansive time, you know, the chi just wants us to bathe and be, but here we are having to also kind of keep to a bit of a structure. So we're like riding it. We're kind of, yeah, being with it. So thank you for keeping your eye on the time anyway. And I'm going to hand it over to Ben now. So I will mute myself, and then you can take it to about, well, what time are you going to come in? Hang on, have I just muted myself?
No, you're still there with us, Clara.
Let's do it. I'm just thinking, how long are you going for? Till about the 10 past, is that right?
Yeah, that's fine, no problem.
Brilliant.
Easy.
All right, I'm out of here. Mate, looking forward to it.
Thank you. And, you know, thank you so much to Clara. Thank you so much to Alessandro for the sharing that they've already given us here today on this pilot of our Wanshi live sessions, which I'm really, really grateful to be a part of as well. So my name is Ben Caulder. I'm the founder and director of the Centre for Integral Health in Shrewsbury. And just as a little quick potted history for where I am, I first started doing Qigong when I was 15 years old. I got introduced to my first teacher, who introduced me to standing practices at that point. And we already had a really nice, beautiful introduction to that with Clara at the beginning of the live. So if you missed the beginning, please go back and watch the beginning at some other point. You know, we've got lots of great information that we'll share with you today. And I was kind of into Qigong and martial arts when I was younger. I spent a lot of time at university doing a lot of multi-system martial arts and moved into Tai Chi after that. And over time, I kind of realized, with combination with yoga and other practices, that the more martial end of the practices weren't really for me. So my Qigong practice started to steer much more towards a health Qigong basis. And I'm fortunate enough that I have an older brother who actually founded a system called Life Force Qigong. And so for about the last kind of 8 to 10 years or so, I've kind of exclusively practiced his system. And I'll put some links into the chat later on for Life Force Qigong, because we have online training there that you can attend as well. Plus my website, where you can join into my classes that happen live stream on a regular basis. And I'll even chuck a little free code in there so you can come and join in for free on your first one. But for me, Qigong has been a lifesaver. It's been a life developer, and it's been something that has been such an essential part of who I am and what I do. It governs a lot of how I think and how I behave, because it's around energy flow, and it's looking at what creates stagnation, blockage, limitation, and then how to transform and change that. So for me, as a practitioner of Life Force Qigong, we've got some really interesting qualities of existence that we cultivate within our practice. And primarily those are health, longevity, awareness, and connection to our spirit in whatever way that you want to term or create that. And we were really looking at this through the 3 treasures of Qigong, which are Jing, Qi, and Shen, which for the beginners of you might not have come across those terms before. So in a very simplified term, Jing is our physical essence, our physical body, our physical sense of self. It's the densest of our energy forms. Our Qi is our energy. And that first transformation that we create is from physical energy into that slightly subtle energy that then pervades and is involved within all our emotions and our organs as well. And then we have our Shen, which is our spirit. And again, this could be spirit as in spirited, and it can be spirit as in the grand everything. So, you know, we have that connection into the deeper self. And so we're moving this progressive sense of from our body into our energy and our emotions into this deeper connection with the world. And you can do this practice over extended periods of time. You can focus it in so many different ways. That this is the beauty of Wanshi, is that here we are as a collective of teachers that are coming together to help inform more people about the healing potential and the support potential of Qigong, and to be a resource for all of that information, the research, because now we're getting so much research and people want to be so much more pragmatic. They want to learn more about what is it actually doing and why. And this is one of the things I love about Life Force Qigong and the way that Sai has developed it, is that we have a very pragmatic way of looking at the body and looking at how energy is produced. And with the practice I'm going to do with you shortly, we're going to talk through that and actually discuss how it is that we're creating some of that energy, which would be really nice for you to hear. You know, and I love the fact as well that Wanshi, we're here as a gateway to help you as potential students, whether you're new students, whether you're long-term students, to find teachers that really work for where you want to go with your health practice, with your life practice. And for a long time, I've viewed Qigong as what I call an integral life practice. It's part of that which makes me well. How I eat is part of my Qigong. How I work is part of my Qigong. How I behave is part of my Qigong. Because Qigong is energy exercise. So it's there for me to look at how I'm moving between these spaces. So many of you will have heard the old statement that, you know, before enlightenment we chopped wood and carried water, and after enlightenment we chopped wood and carried water. Now, the beauty of that statement is that enlightenment leaves everything exactly as it found it. You know, but when we come back into life, once we've had these awakenings, we still need to do the dishes. We still need to do the work. We still need to look after ourselves. So having Qigong as a way of doing this changes how we approach the task. And what I really love again about Life Force Qigong is we're really aiming for this idea of health and longevity. So it's not just about having extended life, it's actually about having longevity in health. So that as we get older, we don't have to deteriorate. And one of my colleagues who's now unfortunately passed away, he used to have a beautiful saying that he said, there are no real diseases of old age. There are only diseases of extended bad habit. So part of what we're here to do with Wanshi is give you better habits. so that you can actually move forward in a way that creates health, vitality, expansion, rather than taking them away. And one of the things that I teach and say to my students a lot is that we become that which we practice the most. So if you spend 8 hours a day sitting on your bum, your body's going to be really good at sitting down. If you spend 10 minutes a day doing Qigong, it's not going to be as good at Qigong as it is at sitting down. So by practicing these forms, by doing these practices steadily, consistency over periods of time, we're actually investing energy into an account that is actually going to pay much better than any kind of pension scheme you can imagine. And it doesn't have to be a lot of practice. You can just do small amounts of practice consistently over long periods of time. And I can tell you without a doubt that, I mean, I'm in my mid-40s now, and I can tell you without a doubt that I have got more flexibility, more strength, and more energy than I had 10 years ago. And that is just because of that continued and consistent practice. And it's not that I'm there at stupid o'clock in the morning doing hours of practice. You know, this is not something that takes away from my life, it adds into. And that's what I really want to encourage you to join in and practice and experience Qigong. You know, and there's a lot of differences. There's a lot of different styles. There's lots of different types of teachers. And again, I love this OneQi project because we're coming together to really honor and validate the fact that there's 1,000 roads and they all go to the same destination. We're all doing the same kind of journeys, but how we do them. It's a little bit like being in the traffic on the motorway. Have you ever caught yourself looking at the vehicles around you and having a look at the ones that aren't doing as well as you and the ones that are doing better than you? And that is just about the life practice that we have. So we can all develop, we can all benefit, we can all gain. And Qigong is a beautiful vehicle for helping you to become better at whatever it is you want to be better at, because we're clearing a lot of that residual tension in the body and helping the body to become stronger and more energized. So the practice that I'm going to do with you today, I'm actually going to take you through a joint conditioning practice. And for us in Life Force Qigong, this is a foundation practice. So we teach it in the early stages of practice. And it's a fundamental at the beginning of our practices, because what we're doing when we do some joint conditioning is a number of things. First of all, we're starting to dissolve the residual tensions that the joints are holding. So again, if I'd been sat down as I am on my invisible chair at the moment, can't really see my invisible chair, it's very clever. But where I've been sat for a long period of time, the parts of my body that are creating collagen, creating fibers, what they're doing is they're laying all that information down to be seated. So when I get up and stand, that's why there's that slight kind of oh in the body, there's that movement, because the body's going to straighten itself and put itself into a different position. So by doing joint conditioning, joint opening practices, part of what we're doing is we're helping the body to remember that we want that full range of movement. We want all those options within ourselves. Don't take them away from us at this point. We're helping to dissolve adhesions and calcifications within the physical structure that can build up. And they're the things that can impair the movement within the limbs, impair the breathing, most importantly, which is so vital for oxygenating the tissues, for producing physical energy in our cells, and for doing so much more. So by doing our joint opening and our joint conditioning, we actually open up the body to be able to allow more qi to flow, to be able to build up bigger qi fields. And also we're looking after the health of these most important structures within us. You know, you think about if you're looking after a bike or a vehicle, the parts that we oil and grease are the moving parts. And then if we don't look after them in the right way, if we don't give them that opening and that softening, then over time they're going to deteriorate. So we're doing joint conditioning and joint opening to help with that. And it's what we consider as an unlinking practice. And in Life Force Qigong, we're offering 4 kind of classes of practices, if you like. We have unlinking practices that help to dissolve the residual tensions. We have alignment practices that help to realign the body into a healthier space. We have relinking practices, and those actually help us to move into spaces where we've got healthy movement and we're building the energy up within the body. And then within the relinking and the alignment, we also contain strengthening practices. So we're building on top of that. But we're going to take you right back to the beginning of the party and take you into that unlinking practice by doing some joint conditioning and some joint opening. So again, for all of you, those of you who are with us, if you'd like to stand up and join in, let's play with this a little bit. I think that's one of the things that Sai teaches in Life Force Qigong that I think is so important. You know, he talks about us moving in this dance from Jing, our physical essence, to Jian Wu, the spirit dance around us. So we want to engage in life in a healthful and a constructive and a positive way. So as we're doing our practices, that's where we're going. That's where we're taking ourselves into this dance with the beautiful cosmos around us. We want to lift our spirits, lift our energy, and be in a better place. So we're just going to start to loosen off and take the aches out of the body as we do this. I'm going to kick off my slippers because I've been keeping my feet warm while I've been here. So, and as Clara and Alessandro beautifully started with, let's just bring ourselves into a commencing position. So you want to have your feet approximately hip distance apart and roughly parallel. So you want to be comfortable within that space as you're doing it. And it's really important as well. We don't often think about how the position of our feet is contributing into tension in the body. But if I've got my toes turned in, if I'm pigeon-toed, then the tensions around the hip are changing tension in the back, which will change tension up in the shoulders, up in the neck, and through the head. If my feet are turned outwards, I'm doing the same thing through my hips, but in a different direction. So we're actually having quite an impact on the body just by that position of the feet. So I want to just take you back to your feet, and we're going to find our 50-50 point really nice and gently. So just gently lean forward and feel the balls of the feet and feel that, how it activates the front line of the body, and then gently rock back onto the heels and find how the back line of the body starts to activate. And you'll really notice it just before that point where you feel like you topple. Don't go there, just feel it. And then just gently move between the balls and the heels of the feet, just ever so softly. And you'll start to feel that pumping mechanism coming through into the tissues. So there's this really big awareness that comes through from our feet all the way up through our legs and up into the body. And we can just connect into that. And it's a really important part of what's going on with the body is what's going on with the feet. So once you find a point that feels roughly 50-50 between the balls and the heels, I just want you to relax and open your feet, almost like your feet are blocks of ice that have melted into the ground. So we're just softening down, opening, everything is just coming out there. Really nice and easy. And as we do that, we can soften into the ankles, allow a little bend in the ankles, soften into the knees, have a little bend in the knees. We can just allow our coccyx to tip gently down at the back, just bringing the pelvis into neutral. Front of the chest just gently dropping down, opening up more space in the lower back. Just rolling the shoulders gently down over the hips. A little bit of space in the armpit, a little bit of space between elbow and the torso. Nice, soft, relaxed wrists. Palms just facing the sides of the legs with the hands lightly open, like we're cupping a golden energized ball in each hand. Fingers lightly parted like those energies, and also between the fingertips. And feel how that energizes and opens and lightens the arms and up into the shoulders. We can gently just tuck the chin slightly back, so the back of the neck lengthens, the crown is gently lifted up. And then we can allow ourselves to just gently relax down, so that apart from the crown point, which is gently pulling up, everything else sinking down through the hips and into the feet. Just have your tongue very lightly touching into the roof of the mouth behind the front teeth, and breathe softly into the belly. It's really useful at the beginning of a session to set up this commencing position, because later on in practices in Life Force Qigong, we come back to this and you start to notice the difference of how each step of the practice is changing. Clara referred to it as home. I refer to it as a cosmic address. This is the place where we are right now in body and mind. So as that shifts and adjusts, we start to notice those changes. And within Life Force Qigong, we're also very careful to stay inside a level of comfort. We never want to take anything to a level of discomfort. So as you do any of these practices with me, I want you to just pay attention to how comfortable you are. Now, at some point, if you see me take my arms up over my head, and that is beyond the comfort zone for you, do a smaller version. You know, that could even be right down here. What's important is that you're practicing at a level that feels right for you. So we're going to begin just from the top of the body and move down. So I'd like to take a nice deep breath in, inhale, and then as you exhale slowly with your breath, let your chin drop down to your chest. So we're opening down the back of the neck all the way to the base of the spine. And then using the whole of your inhale, come back up to center with your head. And as you exhale, gently let your head tip backwards, opening up down through the throat, front line of the body to the pubic bone. And then inhale, slowly coming back, head to center. Exhaling, head back down to the chest. Bring that inhale nice and gently up. And then exhale, let the head tip backward. And soften your body. Inhale, coming back to center, and this time we're just going to allow ourselves to drop the head down to one side. And being soft so we open out across the shoulder, down the back of the arms to the hand. And then inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, down to the other side. Again, inhaling back up. Exhaling down to the other side. Keep on allowing the shoulders to relax. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, down to the other side. Inhale, coming back up, and this time we're going to allow our chin to drop back down to the chest. And we're going to do some full rotation. So we're going to inhale up to the left-hand side, very gently, very softly, using the inhale to get us all the way to the back. And then exhaling down the right-hand side, using that exhale to bring us all the way down to the front. And then just with your own breath, in your own time, just gently continue to make those full circles, using the breath like a travel cushion that's guiding the head softly round. You'll be able to notice any areas of tension in your body, but just notice, just allow. We don't need to force or push anything. We just want to be kind and soft with the body. Part of what we really want to do at this time of the year is nourish, be kind. As your chin comes down now to your chest on your next circle, pause briefly there and then change direction. Inhaling up to the right, just gently all the way to the back, and then exhale down the left-hand side, using that breath. This is not about moving slow, about moving fast, moving slow. Everybody's heard of the slow food revolution. Well, we're the slow exercise revolution. You know, you take your time, and all of that time that you take pays so many dividends. When your chin reaches your chest on your next circle, just pause there and then gently inhale up. We're going to move into the shoulders, so just bend your knees a little bit, and as you inhale, lift the shoulders up, roll them back, drop them down as you bend your knees. And as we're doing this, we can inhale and lift up, exhale and sink down. As we lift up, push slightly through the balls of the feet. As we exhale, sink slightly into the heels. So we start to introduce these beautiful foot pumps, moving between these different zones in the feet to get different effects. Just nice and slow and gently, just allowing yourself to roll those shoulders, noticing what's going on. Now, if one shoulder wants to move at a slightly different rate or in a slightly different way, just allow it, because you are unique and individual. If you are not perfectly symmetrical, that is okay. So allow your body to do what it needs to do. I mean, even for myself, I have injuries in various parts of the body from a life that's been lived. So I have to honor those parts of me. As you bring your hands forward, bring them into the front of the body, backs of the hands together, and then inhale, push up through the balls of the feet. Open the palms up at the top so the palms are facing upwards. And then exhale, letting your arms drop down to the sides. When your arms come down, twist the hands so we open behind the heart. Inhale, lift the hands up again. Push through the balls of the feet. Open the hands. Exhale and sink into the heels. Super gentle. And again, notice where your comfort zone is in this and stay inside of that. So if your arms can't come up as high, that's perfectly okay. Keep on twisting, opening, lifting, allowing that to soften. We're going to take this up one more time, and then we're going to do something real different. We're going to allow the arms to move like rubber. So we're literally just going to bounce through the knees, allow the fascia, the connective tissue to help us just soften that up. And then just stop, give yourself a little shimmy. And again, we're going to bend the knees, and then we're going to take the shoulders back and lift them up. So we're going in the opposite direction, rolling the shoulders forward as we come up and sinking down. So again, as we lift up, we can inhale, push through the balls of the foot, exhale, bend the knees, sink into the heels. Really nice, gentle movement. You may already be starting to feel extra heat in your body. And part of what's going on is that within our joints, we have deposits of mineral crystals. And as we move those joints, those crystals create very, very subtle piezoelectric currents, which is part of what we feel as chi. Beautiful to experience. There are a lot of people either don't do sufficient warm-up or they don't consider warming up as part of Qigong. But for us, the practice is right there from the very beginning. We're already starting to generate energy and Qi in the body just from warming up. So let's take the palms up and out to the sides, push up through the balls of the feet, twisting the hands at the top so the backs of the hands are together, and then exhaling, arms come down in the front, dropping into the heels. Open the hands, open up, inhale, push up, twist the hands, and again allow the hands just to sink down in front. Open up, inhale, lift, twist, and then sink the hands down, backs of the hands together. Lifting that one more time, and then we're going to let the arms go like rubber. Just bounce through the fascia. This is a very soft, easy movement because I'm not really using any effort, just letting those dynamics of my body work together. Give that a little wiggle. I'm going to stand in a little closer so you can see this next bit a little bit easier. So I want you to just drop down into your heels and inhale, gathering energy up into the lungs. Still inhaling, draw the elbows back. Exhale, make a full extension out to the sides. And then take one hand up, one hand down, and find a comfortable place either on the back of the head or the back of the neck. Or if you can really easily hold hands without straining, you can do that. Now take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, take that elbow up high over the head and relax all the way down through the side of the neck, side of the torso, side of the hip, all the way down to the ankle. And then gently inhale and come back up. And as you exhale, drop that elbow forward and down, and then inhale, lift it up and back. So we're going to create this gentle stirring of the shoulder using the elbow as the lever, staying with the breathing. Inhaling, lifting up, opening up, exhaling, sinking down. As we inhale, we're opening all the way up through the joints, the spine, the tissues. Exhale, letting everything settle. Inhaling, lifting up through the balls of the feet. Exhaling, sinking to the heel. With just nice, gentle movements. And then we're going to change direction. So inhaling this time, taking the elbow back. Exhaling, sinking down. Keep those knees nice and soft. Just keep softly moving the body. Beautiful. And just come to a pause. Gently let the arms shimmy down. Give yourself a little shake, soften up. And again, bend to the knees. Inhale, gather energy up into the lungs. Elbows coming back, full extension out to the side. And then take the other hand up, the other hand down, and find that comfortable place on the back of the head, back of the neck, or if you can gently hold, do so. Take a nice inhale again, and then exhale, take that elbow up high over the head, relaxing all the way down through the side of the neck, side of the torso, through the hips down to the ankle. And then inhale, bring yourself back up to standing. Exhale, dropping that elbow down. Inhale, lifting it up. As you drop down, let everything sink into the heels, push up through the balls as you inhale. As you lift up, feel all the pores opening, spine opening, joints opening. Exhale, let it settle. Just doing these nice, simple stirring. And change direction. And notice how as we use the elbow like a lever, the rest of the body is responding. For me, I often liken this to smoothing the duvet out. As I smooth out one part of the fabric, the rest of the fabric is responding. So just by moving the elbow, the shoulder responds, the body responds, everything is interconnected. Come to a pause, and just relax that arm down and just let everything shake out. And again, we're going to bend those knees. Inhale, bring the backs of the hands up to shoulder height. Make two soft fists, put one on top of the other, and then we're going to curl them in so they sit on the breastbone. And we're going to squeeze the elbows together, gently relax the back of the neck, and then we're softly going to weave and breathe. So we're allowing ourselves to lightly move and explore the space that we can create in the mid and the lower back. So again, if you've been sitting for a while, this is beautiful because it's helping to release the tension from between the shoulder blades and in the back of the heart, release the heat from there. And also we're just gently loosening off the energy around the kidneys and down into the lower back and the hips. So we can find spaces that allow us to feel more open from here. And again, because it's your practice, you can explore that for yourself. Beautiful stuff. And then come back to a pause. And now take one of those hands off the chest, hold the other elbow. And then from here, we're going to inhale, carry the arm across the body, exhale, sink and return. So we're just opening up that deepness in the shoulders even more. And we can keep on working with the foot pumps. So as you inhale and lift, push up through the balls of the feet. As you exhale and sink, drop to the heels. And notice how that's helping to pump not only the energy around the body, but also the lymphatics, the circulation. There's multi-dimensional benefit. And then come to a pause. Release the fist from the chest and take that out to the opposite side of the body. So you've got this straight arm all the way across the front of your body. Other arm comes underneath and holds, supports and presses in. And then again, we extend and open that arm out. So we're literally taking it to the side, keeping the knees soft, deepening that opening for the shoulder. So by pulling here, we're also helping to move that scapula away from the back of the ribs. And if you think about it, the shoulders are a little bit like American footballers' pads that sit on top of the body. So if the shoulders are limited and restricted, it's going to restrict our breathing. Our breathing's restricted and lots of other processes in the body are affected. Just come to a pause here. We're going to just inhale, lift up, and then we're going to rotate in the direction that your pointy hand is facing. So as you exhale, rotate out of your ankles first, then your knees, then your hips, then your shoulders, then your chin. Take a big inhale at the back, and then release your ankles to the front first, then your knees, then your hips, then your shoulders, and then your chin. Now the hand that's holding up on the shoulder, make a fist with it, put that fist back on your chest. You should now have a free hand. Hold your elbow with it again, and again inhale, lift, exhale, return. Again, pushing up through the balls of the feet, sinking down through the heels, just making really nice, simple movements. Allowing yourself to feel quite soft here, but feeling that gentle rotational opening in the spine. Nice, easy practices. It's so useful for Qigong. Come to a pause and release the fist from the chest and take it out to the opposite side of the body. Other arm comes underneath, presses in and holds. And again, we inhale, expand, exhale, return. We're just opening and closing. Just gently allowing ourselves to extend the shoulder even further. Keeping the knees nice and soft. We try and encourage you to always keep a little bend in the knees and a little bend in the elbows when we practice. Quite often that locked out joints, locked out tissues are actually going to inhibit or block energy flow. So we want to keep everything nice and soft. Come to a pause. We're going to rotate again in the direction that the hand is pointing. So take a nice inhale, and then as you exhale, rotate out the ankles first, then the hips, then the shoulders, then the chin. Take another nice inhale at the back, and then release the ankles, then the knees, then the hips, then the shoulders, and then the chin. I'm going to get you to bring your arms in front of your body so you can hold your elbows. From here, I want you to take a nice deep breath, fill everything up. And as you exhale, take the head in one direction, the elbows in another, and squeeze the air out of the lungs. Inhale, come back into the center, and then exhale to the other direction and squeeze. Back to center, then to the other side, exhale. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side. Inhale again. We're going to do one more each side. Exhale. Inhale back into the center. And exhale other direction. As we come back into the center this time, we're going to put the elbows on top of or the arms on top of the head. And we're going to loosen the hips and just wiggle down a little bit. And then I want you to inhale and slide the shoulder blades as high up the back as they'll go, lifting the elbows up and then wiggle them at the top. And then exhale, bend the knees, sink the arms back down to the head. And second time, inhale up, glide it up, little wiggle at the top there, loosen everything off in the shoulders. And then exhale, coming back down again. Third time, inhale, lift. Get a nice little wiggle at the top there. And exhale, soften down. And the last one, we lift up and we split the hands out to about 45 degrees and press down like we're pressing balls down into water. So there's a sense of the air being something more solid, gently bending the knees as we come down. Beautiful, nice, easy stuff. Just so we don't forget them, I want you to put the backs of your wrists together and we're going to just gently shake the wrists out. A lot of our thoughts can get stuck in the wrists and never become action. So we're just going to clear the joints there. And we're going to turn the hands over so the other one's on the top and shake that through as well. Just have a nice little shake out through the body. And I want you to bring your hands onto your hips, making nice full circles with the hips. Just really gently, again, staying inside that comfort zone for yourself, noticing what feels appropriate for you, and just gently allowing yourself to open up the hips. You can make contact mentally with all the four walls of the room you're in. Just changing direction gently. They may seem like very obvious or very simple warm-up movements to do, but part of what characterizes Qigong is the intention. We remember that the mind leads the Qi, which leads the blood. So as we come about this with intention, we're moving into a very specific set of energy qualities within ourselves. Just bring the feet together gently. Sink down so that our hands are just above the knees. And we're only resting here lightly. We're going to let the back of the neck relax so we're not causing any tension. And we're just going to gently rotate the knees, keeping the knees inside the boundary of the toes so that we're not putting too much force onto them. breathing softly, feeling that connection through the hips and the lower back. Then change direction. Beautiful. Coming back up to standing. You're going to put your hands on your hips again. Sink your weight down into one leg. Lift the other foot up, and I want you to circle your ankle and your hip. If at any point anybody needs support, it's always okay. Use a chair, use a wall, spare child, anything that's handy, to be able to help you balance. And spread your toes as you wave your foot through. And change direction. So important that we work with our feet. Now, take the top of your foot and put the top of your toes down on the ground and just gently roll the top of the foot so that we can open up the top of the foot and the front of the ankle. And then turn the foot over, so just the bottoms of the toes and the edge of the ball of the foot there, and just wiggle from side to side. Again, we're just opening and creating space in the foot here. So important when we're doing so many standing practices. And then we're going to shake the leg, ankle, all the way through to the hip out, and just gently put that back down so that we can transfer our weight over to the other side. Lift the other foot up. And again, we're just gently circling the ankle and the hip. I find these joint openings such a fundamental and useful practice. I really recommend everybody considers doing it every day. You give that range of motion to your body and you help it understand what you need. Change that direction on that foot. And again, top of the foot, top of the toes down onto the floor, just gently rolling from side to side to open up the top of the foot and the front of the ankle. And then turning the foot over. And again, balls of the feet, toes, just from side to side. And gently shake out ankle and the hip. And then when you put your foot back down, come back into this hip distance, parallel position with the feet. Try and find that 50-50 point on your feet. Soften the ankles, little bend in the knees. Feel the coccyx just dropping down slightly so the pelvis is in neutral. Front of the chest dropping slightly to open up the lower back. Roll the shoulders over the hips so there's a little bit of space in the armpit, space between the elbow and the torso. Nice soft wrists. Palms facing the sides of the leg, the palms like they're cupping a golden ball and the fingers lightly open. Gently tuck the chin back, at the back of the neck lengthens, crown rises, let the shoulders settle, and as the crown pulls up, let everything else settle down. Tongue is just behind the front teeth, touching into the roof of the mouth, and we're breathing deep into the belly. And just take a moment to notice if there's any difference in this cosmic address, this position of your body now in comparison to where we were 20 minutes ago. Personally, I feel beautiful. With the added bonus of the practices from Clara and Alessandro, this is a great place to be. I'm looking forward to the rest of the afternoon. So, thank you very much there, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your little practice there. That's Ben Caulder sharing a little bit of Life Force Qigong with you. And I know Clara will take back over now and bring us all on screen, and feel free to throw your mics off and join in.
Well, 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 that's what you get up to then, Mr. Ben, is it?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Wow, it's really physical. It brought to mind the Dao Yin side of Qigong.
Absolutely, yeah.
Real kind of physicality. Get in there, sort that fascia out, mate. You know.
Yeah.
But this repetition and the getting it. I had to lie down in the middle of that because I have a very old shoulder injury, so it was like I feel it was good. It was good, and it was very interesting doing different movements that I'd never done before. but I also realized that I better not overdo it, as you kept saying, just, you know, don't overdo it here, because it is physical. I thought, is this it feels to me like men's qigong. Is that what do you, the other guys think? It feels much more like.
I mean, we've got a very high percentage of my students are females, so I'm not sure how they'd feel about that. But it's very much with the life force qigong. The practice that we've done there is very much part of our jing, our foundation practices. So they are very much about the conditioning of the fascia and helping to just dissolve those residual tensions within the body. And we really do. I mean, in class, I'm very, very kind of careful to say to people, I would rather you did this with your shoulder and it stayed inside your comfort zone and you continue to practice than going into pain from doing this and having to stop. So it's one of the things I find that Qigong is really good for teaching us, is to truly, truly listen to the body and do what it tells you, not what I tell you.
Exactly, that's it. So we're taking what you're suggesting and going, how is that feeling for me? So I pulled back. I was doing my 70% rather than going whole, but it did remind me of more of the physical side of Qigong, of which is really key as well. So yeah, thank you. They arms do feel, shoulders feel more open now. So clearly needed that.
Yeah, I love the constant reminders, Ben, of not to overdo it, because it did feel very reorganizing the structure, but you kept reminding us do as much as possible. And I was surprised that I could do more than not more than I thought, but I just the body just wanted to go in certain directions, and it was beautiful. The whole structure, I love that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I must admit that when you started saying stay within your comfort zone, there's a part of me that's going, oh no, I like to, you know, I like to explore. But then when it became, as Clara said, because you're looking more at the sort of at the way the body works, it makes complete sense. And so yeah, and absolutely. But again, it speaks of the differences between different systems and the benefits of different systems as well. It's such a broad thing that we're working with here. I think it's brilliant.
And it's just such a tiny part of what we teach in Life Force Qigong as well. I mean, we've got, at the moment, we've got 4 training modules, each of which are 6 days of training each. So, you know, there's a lot of form in there. And what you might consider as to be more traditional kind of Qigong practices, you'll see those all in there. But we feel that conditioning of the joints and the conditioning of the body is so important to enable us to access those other aspects. You know, and it's kind of, in a lot of ways, we don't want to do too much movement before we've dissolved some of the limitations and helped to realign the structure. So much more quickly we get the benefit from it because we've gone through in this kind of pragmatic series of movements.
Well, it's respectful of the system, because it's like giving it time to unwind the tensions that have taken years sometimes to build up, and it's the preparation. Even though you said that once you go in, it's all qigong. You know, it all is, it's aspects of, and like all of us in OneQi, we've probably got a compendium and a half to share with you. And we're here in our first live session. I'm so excited about this, just offering you little tidbits, and each one of us is building on the one before as well, and then giving another aspect of it. This is so fascinating. It's just thrilling. Yes,
a great day. Yeah,
it really isn't it?
Yeah.
We have got a message from Pix Rainbow, who's actually one of my students, who's also called Claire but calls herself Clara. I know, we've had a chat about that, haven't we? And she's saying that thank you, Ben, that was exactly what I needed. The explanations of what was going on energetically were really interesting, plus the rubber arms thing made me laugh. Always good to laugh, isn't it? And yeah, Jeremy's there watching as well. Jeremy's coming on later. We've got John coming up next, and then we're going to have a short break, and then our next 4 are going to come in, which are Nicola Lee and Barry Smale and Tim Franklin, and of course Jeremy College. So yeah, this is just part of Wanshi. This is just 8 of us that put up our hands and go, I'll do the first one. But there's many more of us behind the scenes here. So head over to wanshi.org and you can sign up on the register there to find out more about what's coming next, because we're developing all the time. This is a project that is evolving. We're following its flow, and it's very exciting. So thank you for being here on our first live. So anything more to feed back to Ben, or how are we doing? Handing over to, well, Alessandro has left the room. I had to go and have a wee, I must say, because this is a long sesh. And it's like, don't forget to take care of yourselves, people, but also.
I know an exercise to help with that.
Well, isn't there a thing about, you know, before you practice, obviously empty your bladder, because your dantian's pretty close to the bladder and the water holds a chi. Have you heard about this in one of these conversations that we have behind the scenes of?
There's so many rules that we hear about.
About not to have a wee until 20 minutes after you've done your practice. It's like, but I'm bursting, it's going to do me more harm if I don't. But, you know, it's that awareness, isn't it, of taking care of yourself on all levels. So let's hand over to John Millar, my esteemed colleague here, the guy with whom I had that first conversation, and now look where we are. So yeah, I'm going to hand it over to you. John and I did actually do the same training back in the day, but then he went down various different avenues, which he may be telling you about now, or he maybe not. But I'm going to hand it over to him anyway, because I can't wait for his session. So what you're going to get up to is John Millar.
Thank you very much, Clara. Thank you. Okay, well, first off, I think really, I just want to say a huge thank you to Clara, Alessandro and Ben. There is just such richness of information here. And it's a joy to explore other people's perspectives on it. And so, first of all, thank you. And the second thing I want to throw in there is just to pick up on something that Clara was saying. Go to the website, and if you like what we're doing, click on the register button. Is it a register button? I'm not quite sure what it's called at the moment. And in there, it'll say, are you a teacher? Are you a student? Or are you something other? I'm not sure what the other is. Don't worry about that. But what we want to do is we want to start to get people who are interested in Qigong, people who are teaching Qigong, all coming together into this place so that we can have this amazing meeting of people, this amazing sharing of information. And yeah, we're in our infancy, as we keep saying. This is the first time we've gone out live, and so come and join the party. Come and be part of what's going on here. Okay, so after the sales pitch for Wanshi, hi, I'm John, and yeah, I trained with Clara back in the day. Prior to that, I'd trained in a couple of styles of Qigong, and after the training at the elemental school, I went and trained in 3 other styles. And along the way, I found I was always looking for the thing that worked for me. Now, every single type of Qigong that I've studied, I've gained value from. But I think the message that I'd like to share on that one is that find the way that really speaks to you in that time. Spend the time with those teachers that are helping you. But don't get stuck. Keep moving through if you need to move through. And it's been something that's been really important to me, but I ended up in a system called Zhineng Qigong. And the thing that I loved about Zhineng Qigong was the fact that there was just this complete simplicity that was embraced within the heart of the practice. And the more I was working with been training out in China and training with Chinese teachers, the more there's this sort of reframing of the way that I'd practiced up to that point. And I love the simplicity. So for today's session, I'd like to pick up on a couple of ideas, and I'd like to bring the ideas into movement. Ben alluded to this saying of Yi Dao Qi Dao, where the mind goes, the Qi follows. I think the British version of it is if you put your mind to it, but somehow it doesn't quite sound as esoteric and elegant. So Yi Dao Qi Dao, we'll stick with that one. So there's an idea here as what the mind does drives our Qi into those places. So when we pick up on the ideas that Alessandro was talking about with the ready breath image, with the glowing body, it's the mind that creates the potential for that. But there's a slight word of caution here, and I'm going to just sort of dive down into a little sort of rabbit hole on it. If when we're doing this, what we're doing is we're increasing the immune system so that we can fight a virus, for example, what we're inadvertently doing is bringing the virus into our practice. And Yi Dao Qi Dao, where the mind goes, the Qi follows. There's also ideas here about nobody has greater power over you than your enemy. So there's a subtlety in the intention, and any one of us can work with you in order to help to fine tune this intention. But when you're working with the immune system, work with the immune system with the idea of a healthy, functioning immune system. Don't work with the immune system with the idea of, I don't want to get COVID, because one of them builds your immune system. One of them creates a fight with something that you don't even want in your life. So let's say subtleties going on here, but this is what I mean. The way that we work with the mind is all important. So the piece that I wanted to sort of pick up on today was something that has been sort of comment as we've gone through. I know Clara was talking quite a lot about water aspect and earth aspect. We also hear about yin and yang. We hear about all these different pieces. And the Western mind tends to want to go, well, what is yin? What is yang? What do you mean by water? What do you mean by earth? And we tend to go and get stuck in those places and go, oh, what's over here? I'm going to look at this bit. And what's up there? I'm going to look at that bit. But actually, what they're all saying is that everything moves through cycles. And so this point of the cycle that we're in now would relate in the elements to water aspect when you look at it from a seasonal perspective. But when you look at it from the perspective of the day, there's a different cycle. When you look at it from the cycle of the breath, there's a different cycle. It doesn't matter what tradition you follow, there tends to be these ideas of cycles within cycles. And we can make this hellishly complex, or we can make it really simple. And I want to make it really simple. I want to use this idea that everything that happens changes. And just because at the moment we might be in a difficult place with the conditions that are going on around coronavirus, with the conditions that are going on with all kinds of stuff, it's changing. It's always changing. And in order to allow it to change, we need to create the space for change. So what I want to do with the practice is I want to pick up a little bit of some of the amazing work that Ben was doing about opening up the body, creating space in the body. I want to pick up on these things, and then I want to invite you into a very, very simple practice that's called Lachi. And Lachi is simply let go and bring the mind home. And this is, well, in many ways, there are only two aspects to Qigong. One is move Qi and one is nourish Qi. This is move Qi. And so I want to come into this Lachi practice, and then I want to explore variations of Lachi. I want to give you permission to go and play with Lachi, make it your own. I said there were two aspects. There's move Qi and there's nourish Qi. To nourish Qi, we simply bring our awareness back into the part of the body we want to nourish and allow it to rest there. Yi-Dao, Qi-Dao, where the mind rests, the Qi accumulates. This is nourish Qi. So we'll spend some time moving Qi, we'll spend some time nourishing Qi. And yeah, if you want to know more about the type of stuff that we do, I've got a big old banner sitting there saying 3 Monkeys School of Qigong. So go and look it up, but don't worry about that bit at the moment. Just come and enjoy the practice with me. So the invitation is to come in and join the practice. So shall we stand up? Okay. So just as a starter, give yourself a little shake and find that comfortable stance. Find that place that you were in following Clara's practice, following Alessandro's practice, following Ben's practice. Find that place. And just to help that along, lift Ba Hui, lift the crown, and allow the neck to open. Lift Hui in, lift the center of the pelvic area very gently, cradle yourself. And allow the whole body to relax. Allow the whole body just to gently sway. Allow the breath to settle. Allow the mind to quieten. And just take a few breaths just to enjoy standing. This quiet place. Okay, we've already worked into the neck, so let's just mobilize the neck. I don't mind how. Just create movement in the neck and allow the space to open between the vertebrae. The intention here is open up space, relax. Nothing complicated, just gentle, easy movements, whatever works for you right now. Open the neck. And then once you've created some space in the neck, shift the awareness from the neck down into the mid-spine. And here, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Release the shoulder blades apart. Allow this simple movement. Squeeze the shoulder blades. You can coordinate this with an in-breath if you want. And release them apart on an out-breath. Allow this movement to open up the space between the vertebra and the mid-spine. Relax into the movement. Notice how you're moving today. It's already perfect. It's exactly where you are. Mobilize mid-spine. And then we're going to extend the movement slightly into rolling the shoulders. So the next time the shoulders come forwards, allow them to gently lift at the front. That may be an in-breath. And allow them to sink at the back. So from the mid-spine, we're now mobilizing. We're creating space out through the shoulder blades into the shoulders. Those American football pads that Ben was talking about. Circulate those. Open up the space. A few more times. And then I want to extend the movement. So we're already working in the shoulders. Let's come into the elbows. Allow the elbows to rise at the front and release at the sides. Rise at the front. Release at the sides. Once more. And then we'll make the movement even bigger. So now from the mid-spine out through the shoulders and elbows into the wrists, hands and fingers. Allow more of the spine to move. Hands rising at the front. Releasing at the sides. Opening up space. Continue. A few more times. So from the mid-spine out to the tips of the fingers, opening up. Whole of the back, mobilizing, opening up space in the spine. And then the next time the hands get to the top, allow them to pause at the top. Take a moment, very relaxed. And then we're going to reverse the movement. So gently release the hands down through the spine. So notice the neck, the mid-spine, and the lumbar, all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Then release the elbows, the wrists, the hands. They rise up. Relax down through the spine. Release. Arms rising. Relax down. Once more. Release. Relax down to the tip of the tailbone. When you get there, just pause for a moment. Then open out into the hips. Pause at the hips. Allow the hips to open. And then release the hands down, expanding the awareness down through the chi legs, down into the earth. And then on an in-breath, lift chi up into lower dantian. Release, expand out into Wanshi. Gather Wanshi back into lower dantian. Just an idea of chi flowing well out into the earth, back into the body. Enjoy. And then the next time the hands gather back to lower dantian, allow them to pause at lower dantian. Allow them to pause in front of the abdomen. And then we'll allow the hands to rise, and as they do, open up the space between each vertebra of the spine. Connect up into blue sky, and then draw blue sky down into lower dantian. It may take longer than one breath, it doesn't matter. Expand up. Gather back. Once more. Expand. And gather. Pause at lower dantian when you get there. No hurry. So we've opened up some space in the body. We've relaxed the body. Now open the elbows, open the wrists, open the arms. Release out in all directions. And bring the mind home. Gather back into lower dantian. Release out. Gather back. Once more. Release out. And gather back. And this time, when you gather back, just notice the space inside. Notice the space between thoughts. Notice how relaxed the body is, how effortlessly you can stand here. Enjoy that space inside. Yi Dao, Qi Dao. Nourish Qi. A few more breaths. And then what I want you to do is just expand your awareness out slightly, out beyond the physical body, out into the Qi body, out into the space that you're standing in. Doesn't matter what the posture is, it's how the awareness is expanded out. Notice the space around you. Enjoy that space. And then from there, we're going to expand out further. We're going to expand the awareness into this group, all of us practicing together. Everybody sharing this Qi space. Everyone connected. Everyone's support. And everyone's supporting. Everyone equal. For a few breaths. And then from here, expand the awareness further, all the way out into blue sky, all the way out into the universe, out into Wanshi. Everything connected. Everything supported. And anything is possible. Anything is possible. And then gently draw the hands back, draw the mind back into lower dantian, back into your home, with the intention of Qi flowing well, flowing around all of the cycles, from yin to yang, around the elements. Doesn't matter what the cycle is, Qi flowing well. We have the space within the body, we have the space within the mind. Qi flowing well. Okay, we're going to ease into the Lachi practice. So we're going to start with something called big Lachi. Open the elbows, Open the wrists, open the arms, keep them going out, draw the feet closer together, become huge. Allow the mind to expand out as far as it possibly can, all the way out into blue sky. And then gather it back. And as you do, squat down. Have almost a selfish moment. Go, it's mine. I'm keeping this. It's in here. And then expand out again. Releasing out in all directions. Gather in. Release out. Let go. Create space. Draw blue sky back inside. Notice the size of movement that works for you here. Expanding out. Gathering back. A few more times. Out. And back. Each time you move, it can be different. Out. And back. Once more. Out. And back. Hands pausing in front of lower dantian, standing comfortably. Mind centered. So we'll repeat this process, but this time soften the movement. Open the elbows, open the wrists, open the arms, allow the crown to rise. And then when you gather in, allow the tailbone to sink ever so slightly. So chi's flowing effortlessly in the body, but a smaller movement, expanding out. Gathering back. Letting go, releasing all of those things that cause us to get stuck. Drawing back blue sky, Wanshi. Refreshed. Release. And gather. Release. Gather. Couple more. Release. Gather. Release. And gather. Pausing at lower dantian when you get there. Just allow the mind to sit inside for a few breaths. Nourish chi. We've created space. We've let go of things that don't serve us. Now nourish chi inside. Fill that space with blue sky. A few more breaths. And then we're going to use a different adaptation of Lachi. Open the posture, feet out to slightly wider than shoulder width, but a comfortable stance. And then allow one hand, I don't mind which, to spiral out into blue sky and draw blue sky back inside. Then the other hand spirals out and draws chi back. Alternating one side, then the other. Spiraling out, gathering chi back. Just play. Enjoy the movement. Both hands are spiraling. Both hands are cycles, spiraling out and gathering back. Letting go and gathering Qi. Just relax into the movement. Don't worry about getting it right. Just know that you're releasing, creating space, and drawing Qi back inside. Each time can be different. It's Lachi, but now the whole body is moving. We're filling the whole body with blue sky. And then we're going to change the movement slightly. Keep going just for a little bit longer. But we're going to bring the hands in together. So the next time one hand comes back in front of lower dantian, let the other hand come in to meet it. Pause for a moment. Just see how that feels. And then both hands at the same time spiral out and gather back. And as they gather back, squat down slightly. Spiraling out and releasing. Spiraling back and gathering. Out. And back. Out. And back. Couple more of these, and then we'll just introduce one more variation. Okay, so the next time the hands come back, allow the palms to face upwards in front of lower dantian. Then allow the hands to spiral up into the blue sky. Pause at the top. And then push the thumbs forwards and spiral the hands out into the far distance, palms facing up, thumbs facing back, and pause. Then thumbs draw back under the armpits, squat down slightly, gather in. So the hands spiral up, out, and back. Don't worry about accuracy, follow the mind. And the mind is spiraling up, out, and back. Enjoy and play. Up, out, and back. And as you relax into the movement, there's just an idea of all the time the hands are spiraling up and out. We're expanding out in all directions. Then we gather back from all directions. Whole body engaged. Qi flowing well. A few more breaths. A big movement, creating lots of space. Okay, and then the next time, not this time, but the next time the hands get to the top, allow them to pause at the top. And one last variation. Here we'll draw the feet closer together and we'll do the movement backwards. Not as scary as it sounds. Sink the tailbone, draw the hands down through the center of the body. Gather Qi back, and then at the bottom, push the little fingers back and allow the hands to spiral out and up. Draw Qi back. Focus here is on draw Qi back. Here we're spiraling out and we're releasing. But just take a little longer to enjoy drawing Qi back into lower dantian. Letting go. Gathering back. So wherever Qi has been getting stuck, this movement can help to release. allowing things to flow, continuing round the cycles. And most importantly, taking time to enjoy. A few more times. And the idea, more important than the movement, spiraling out and gathering back. Okay, the next time the hands rise, allow them to up into blue sky and pause. Whole body just gently moving freely, like a reed in the river. Opening the front, opening the back, chi flowing well. And then to draw the practice to a close,
Hey, John, we can't actually hear you.
little unfortunate. Just take a few breaths here with the hands on Duchi, with the hands on lower dantian. Full of potential and the mind quiet. Let the hands go. Ease out. Okay, give it a little shake. And thank you, everyone. So, apologies for the slight technical hitch there.
Actually, it's very powerful when you weren't talking. Nothing against your voice, but the energy grew. The energy was really powerful. I thought, oh, he's being quiet on purpose, and it was so strong.
It was actually the perfect.
Thank you.
It was the perfect time for you to shut up, John.
Oh, thanks.
Right.
And now we expose what Wanshi is.
No, but it was right at the end when it was like gather it all, and it turned into like a total healing cascade, and we could see what you were doing, but it was like, where do these hands want to bathe the body? Where does this want to? So there was space for that to occur. I'm sure we missed some pearls of wisdom as well, but anyway, it was fine that there was spaciousness at that point. So it wasn't long. I'd have shouted to you before if it had gone off before, but it seemed there was an exquisiteness that was just held in the silence, like you said, Alessandro. Exactly.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
That was beautiful. Well done. I really enjoyed that, John. It was Again, just so nice after, you know, all of our 4 sessions seem to have been this beautiful cascade and worked so nicely together as well. And that was just perfect. And I love how much that all of us have acknowledged each other's practices within inside what we're doing as well, and seeing those frames of reference and the value that they have for that as well. So thank you so much. And I was so impressed with how good your sound was right up until the moment where it stopped. So consistent.
Yeah, this is there's such a richness here, and you're right, Ben. The way that we have such respect for each other's practices and such intriguing curiosity of like, oh, I'll give it a go then, and yet there has been this weave between us all that has just made sense energetically. Well, it has to me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the more we do, because it's just such a joy to be with you all, and to be with you who are listening or watching. So what have we got here? Yeah, we've still got 20 odd people. I don't mean odd, I mean, you know,
well, 6 of us maybe.
and Nicola's here, so Nicola's part of the next session. Yeah, exactly. So it's good to have you here, Nicola. And Jeremy's back. You're doing a bit co-hosting, as you can see. Jeremy and John are actually playing Snap with their banners.
Yeah.
Got one. And what we've got some responses back on from the live stream from Erica from Tacoma. Happy 2021 to me, apparently. I think she means to all of us as well. Good to have you on the call, Erica. Really glad that you could get here on the live. And somebody called Ben Caulder saying that he enjoyed the session, and Claire said that the silence was rather beautiful. And yeah, again, yeah, she's also reflecting that she's really enjoying seeing the different styles, and this is what we wanted to do with Wanshi, is to really open up and show there's not just one style here, there's a myriad, but they're all coming from this one place, or they're returning to this one place. There is only one Chi. So guess what? My Qigong is not better than any of yours.
Egalitarian, that's what we're going for, Clara.
Well, it's also, that's the way of it, isn't it? It can't be. It's finding what's right for you. And actually, my Chi is best for me, but it might not be best for anyone else. We're here as facilitators to help turn on, ignite the Chi within other people to explore what theirs is. So you're not just watching a person and going, if I do it like that, I'll get it. You're going, no, have a play with this. And John was saying, play with it, enjoy it. You know, what's going on here for you, you know? So it really evolves for yourself.
I think that's the skill of the teacher, isn't it? The skill of the Qigong teacher is in giving the space for the people that come to them to actually find what they need. And so, you know, so find the teachers that create the space for you. Enjoy spending time with them. These are the people that set you free. Go on that note, I can't top that. I'm off.
Profound, but I'm with you there, John. Exactly. And what a lovely energy to sort of complete our first round of Wanshi live sessions. We've got Jeremy and Nicola that are going to be part of the next lot. Quite how we do the changeover, we're not too sure, but we're going to give it a go. So if we lose the live stream on YouTube temporarily, we will be back. So in about sort of 5 minutes, we're going to disengage from this one. Also, because it's recording, we do need to just capture that recorded file before it gets too humongous and snarls up my computer. Yeah, exactly. With all this Chi flooding in there, it's like it's a lot for these amazing
size file.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to duck out at this point, and please go and enjoy.
On the live. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro, as well. Stunning, really beautiful. Looking forward to the next time. And Ben, what are you going to come up with next? Can't wait.
Wait to see.
Exactly. So brilliant. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we'll just wind this up gently and then redo it again. Yeah, so you probably have to, I'm not sure it's going to be the same Zoom room. We're going to find that out, aren't we? Any minute now.
No, it's just your private one. So if you cut the call, Nicola and I will just reconnect, and away we go.
All right, brilliant.
Cool. Just
Remember,
go.
if you want to find out more about Wanshi, it's wanshi.org, and you can sign up as a student or a teacher and get on our mailing list so we can tell you more about how this amazing project is evolving. And at the moment is UK and Ireland, but we have little whispers from abroad. They're really interested, because Wanshi isn't just for UK and Ireland, but it's a good place to start because that's where we all are at the moment. But some of our, now we're all teaching online. I know some of you, I think it's Nicola was saying, some of your students are in Spain, for instance. So
Spain, well, quite a lot of Europe, I get people coming from.
so to start a project, we're just trying to keep it steady and sensible, but we're also following the Chi, and we're being informed by where it wants us to go next. And so we can do, isn't it, really?
Basically, we're teaching in English. I think that's the
Yeah.
de facto bottom line.
It is. All right then, my lovelies. I will cut out of here and then fire it up again, probably in 5 or 10 minutes, depends how long it takes for the stream to upload. But looking good this end. Those of you that are watching, tune in again in about 5 or 10 minutes after you've had a nice cup of tea.
In theory, were you recording it to the cloud?
No, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, I see. Okay, so yes. Well, I think, and I see Barry and Tim have just arrived, so perhaps we should just admit them and tell them what's going on. Sorry.
No, exactly. Okay.
Aha.
So, hello. It's actually just Barry. Is Barry? Tim's not there, is he? So we have to change your little title there. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just